Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Total domination over Kent State last night. Man, if you look what Josh Heupel and this football team have done through just 3 games, and I get it, you can talk about weak schedule and opponent. I don't care. It's impressive. Through the last 3 games, Tennessee has outscored their opponents by 178 points. That is the highest point differential through 3 games in SEC history. And we are breaking records week in and week out. You know, the first game against Chattanooga, Nico breaks the record for passing yards and a half. Second game, Tennessee goes out and scores more than 50 points for back-to-back weeks. It's the first time in the history of Tennessee football that they've broken 50 in the first 2 games of the season. Last night, 37 points in the first record. Guess what? That was a program record. 65 points at the half. Most points by an FBS team in the last 20 years. Last night, we're saying, what is going on? Is Josh Heupel trying to put up 100? We had 740 yards of total offense. That is the most in program history. 71 total points at the end of the night. That's the most by Tennessee Vols football in the modern era. You know, on top of all the numbers, just look what Josh Heupel has done since taking over this program. And when we rewind time, we go back and look at it, we were at rock bottom. And we talked this to death, but the amount of guys that had transferred out, the lack of depth, just absolute rock bottom. Josh Heupel comes in, and he becomes the quickest Vol football coach to 30 wins since Philip Fulmer. Probably comes as no surprise. Lane Kiffin left in the middle of the night. Derek Dooley was terrible. Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt, probably no surprise there. Heupel did it in 42 games. Philip Fulmer did it in 38. He becomes the 3rd quickest to 30 wins in the last 75 years. A little bit more impressive there behind only Philip Fulmer and also Bill Battle. Josh Heupel's got that look in his eye, man. We were talking about it this week. He looks different. He acts different. He looks like he's got this chip on his shoulder. Coach Jay said it. He's got the eye of the Tiger for all you Rocky fans. But last night, up 30-0, Josh Heupel goes for an onside kick. 58-0 with 1 minute and 54 seconds left in the first half. He calls a timeout. They asked Kent State at halftime, and we'll say this. They asked him if they wanted to shorten the game, have a running clock. Kent State's coach went, talked to their captain, said, no, we're going to finish this thing out. Respect to Josh Heupel for asking. Respect to Kent State's coach and their football players for wanting to finish out the game. We've had a night to sleep on it, kind of put the emotions aside, although I don't think there were any emotions last night, just total domination. This is the day after. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. But as always, I need you guys to do me a favor. Smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. It helps the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, attack the comment section. A lot of you guys, if you don't have a comment, you don't have a question, you just put a GBO in the chat. That helps this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're not journalists. We're not reporters. We don't talk at you. We talk with you here for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We're going to be live later tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's your show. It's a fan call-in show. You guys get to come on the channel and drive the conversation. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I'll be having a cup of coffee and talking Tennessee football with Eric Kane of VolQuest.com and Locked On Vols. Tuesday night, we play EA Sports College Football. Wednesday night, Talkin VAWLS live at 7. Friday morning this week, we're going live at 9 a.m. Coach Jay's got some stuff he's got to take care of in the coaching world, so we're going to go live an hour earlier than normal. But let's get into it. Let's talk about this win over Kent State. Again, just total domination, 71-0. And I guess where I want to start here is with the Tennessee defense. And I get it. Kent State was outmatched. It is what it is. But it's pretty impressive that this Tennessee defense has not given up a touchdown in the last 4 games, going back to the Citrus Bowl win over Iowa. This season, they're giving up 160.7 yards per game. That's second in all of college football behind only Ohio State. That's pretty good defense. Coach Heupel gets mad and talks about being the house of Reggie White and Eric Berry. They want to play elite defense. I would say giving up 160 yards per game is pretty elite. They're 3rd in scoring defense. Get this stat, giving up 4.3 points per game. And you may say, well, Boogie, they played Chattanooga. They played Kent State. I don't care if they played a middle school from down the street. They're giving up 4.3 points per game through 3 games. I think that is pretty impressive for this Tim Banks defense. As far as last night for Kent State, 112 total yards, 58 passing, 54 rushing. And I know some of those numbers are skewed a little bit. Kent State really struggled with the center quarterback exchange, one of those resulting in a safety. They were 2 of 12 on 3rd down. Tennessee all year has been really impressive on 3rd down. I can't remember the exact number, but they are being efficient, getting off the field on third down. They gave up 1.7 yards per carry last night to Kent State. Look, Kent State had 12 drives. They had 12 opportunities to move the football down the field and go score. Only 4 of those drives lasted longer than 3 plays. So 8 3-and-outs for this ball defense. Just total domination. Again, outclassed, more physical, bigger, stronger, faster. We get it, but it's still an impressive outing for this Tennessee defense against Kent State. Offensively, Tennessee just continues to be who they are. They continue to run the football. That's what they're going to do. That's their identity. That's what starts this entire offense. They led the conference in rushing a year ago, and I fully expect them to do it again this year. Last night, 456 yards on the ground. As a team, they averaged 8.3 yards per carry. 336 yards per game, third in all of college football rushing the football, again, at the top of the SEC. And I know the level of competition is about to change. The talent gap is about to close just a little bit, but I fully expect this football team to continue to have success running the football. The more this playbook opens, the more looks they're giving these other teams, the more these running backs like Dylan Sampson, Deshaun Bishop, Cam Seldon, if he can get back healthy, the more they're going to eat. That's what this football team is all about. Dylan Sampson through 3 games, 357 yards and 9 touchdowns. The record for rushing touchdowns in a season is 18. Dylan Sampson is halfway there through 3 games. Can he get it done? Maybe. We had a joke last night. We had a laugh. Dauber said, I think it was at halftime early in the game, are we going to end up with 3 100-yard rushers? Deshaun Bishop ends the day 7 carries for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. How about Deshaun Bishop? A guy that I questioned in the offseason, a guy that his name regularly came up as we were talking about whether or not Tennessee needed to go into the portal and get a running back. Josh Heupel said, no, I like the guys I got. That's who we're going to roll with. And how about Deshaun Bishop? For me, I think he's RB2 right now. Even if Cam Seldon comes back and Cam Seldon's healthy, I think Deshaun Bishop is running the football well. He's done well in pass protection. But last night goes over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He shows patience at times. He shows burst at times. The way he hit the hole on 4th and 1, man, he was hitting that hole like he was going to get hit, but he was going to fall forward and he was going to pick up the first down. But that hole was big enough for him to get through, makes one guy miss. House call. He can take it to the house at any point in time. I've been impressed with Deshaun Bishop, but we all know Dylan Sampson's RB1 last night, 13 carries, 101 yards, 4 touchdowns. Just 4 touchdowns, averaged almost 8 yards per carry. Dylan Sampson is him. We talk about Nico for Heisman, and we look for Nico to put up impressive numbers. Let's not sleep on Dylan Sampson and a Dylan Sampson Heisman Trophy campaign. Peyton Lewis, 10 carries, 99 yards. We're just going to lie about that, and we're going to say we had 300-yard rushers on the day. Nico added 31 yards on the ground. Merck added 21 on the ground. Gaston Moore even had a 15-yard carry. Khalifa Keith had 3 carries for 7 yards. You know, Nico last night seemed like he didn't even have to do anything, and he was efficient, 10 of 16, 173 yards and a touchdown. I like the way he spreads the football around. Dante Thornton had a couple of catches. Chris Brazell had a couple of catches, including a touchdown reception. Mike Matthews had a couple. Chaz Nimrod, Squirrel White, Caleb Webb had a couple. Just spreads the ball around. Miles Kitzelman with another touchdown reception. You know, when you're playing Kent State and you're up the way Tennessee was up at the half, you know, Nico doesn't need to do anything. Run the football, keep guys healthy, get out of there with a dub. That's what we did. And this week, who's next? What's next for this Tennessee football team? They're rolling into that Oklahoma game, 7:30 kickoff. We're going to be covering that live. We're going to do a tailgate show an hour before. We're going to do the post-game show an hour or immediately following the game. You know, we can sit here and we can rattle off numbers and stats and records, and that's impressive. And I don't care who you play, because these Tennessee teams throughout all of history have played weak opponents. But what Josh Heupel is doing in year 4, going out and breaking records week in and week out, has been impressive. But we can talk about weak opponents. We can move the goalposts and say that NC State's not very good. This is the week. This is the week that we've had circled on the calendar since the schedule came out. This is what is going to catapult us into a special season, or it's going to derail our hopes and dreams. I like where Tennessee is at heading into the matchup. This is the week. Tennessee opened this thing as a 5-point underdog. A 5-point underdog. They are now, as of the time of this video, a 7.5-point favorite. They went from a 5-point dog to a touchdown favorite in this game because the way that they have been impressive in how they've gone about their business through the first 3 weeks. Now, Oklahoma hasn't looked that great. They struggled at times against Tulane, then they picked it up, then they struggled, then they picked it up. They weren't impressive 2 weeks ago. The ESPN FPI, for those that keep track of it, Tennessee had a 40% chance to win this game if you go back to prior to into the preseason. After week one, that jumped up to 49.4. After the NC State game, jumped up to 66%. As of right now, Tennessee has a 71% chance of winning this game, according to the ESPN FPI. And again, a 7.5-point favorite, according to Vegas. All the talk this week is going to be all about Josh Heupel returning to his alma mater. I fully expect that Oklahoma fan base to give him a warm welcome, maybe even a standing ovation. But guess what? There's some bad blood there. Josh Heupel doesn't forget anything. Josh Heupel keeps receipts, and Josh Heupel knows what Oklahoma did to him, and his focus is going to be this football game. He's not going to talk about it. The media is going to try to get some type of quote out of him, and he's going to give you a whole bunch of coach speak. He's going to do his best to avoid it, treat it like any other game, and that's the way Josh Heupel goes about his business. You're not going to get quotes. You're not going to get clickbait quotes. Just not going to happen. But the national media, the YouTubers, the local media, we're all going to be talking about it because it is a huge matchup. College game day is going to be there. I think Tennessee goes into Norman, Oklahoma, and they take care of business. What do you guys think? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, on the way out the door, hit that thumbs up. We would appreciate it. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk about this Kent State win. Let's talk about Oklahoma. Where are you at now versus in the preseason? Do you feel more hype about Tennessee? Do you think they're better than you thought they were going to be? Let's talk about it. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. You can do that at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. You guys pay the light bill around here. Could not do this without you. Would not be making daily videos, doing morning streams with Kaner and Coach Jay. That would not be happening if not for the members of the channel. So if you like what we do, think about hitting that join button right over there beside subscribe. There's also a link in the description below for the merchandise. Also a link for how you can join the channel. If you're on an iPhone, the join button's not there. You got to go to that website on an internet browser. Then when you come back to your YouTube app, you'll be a member. But if not, hey, man, just smash the thumbs up because that's quick, free, and easy. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it because this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.